This is QTV Nightly News, and I am Ansman Esonyasi. Thanks for joining us. You can also join us on Q Radio. But first, here are the main news headlines. After a heated debate on Thursday, the National Assembly adopted the Finance and Public Accounts Committee's report on the alleged $30 million petroleum sale. The Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, in partnership with the UNDP, has launched a broad training program to strengthen research management within tertiary and higher education institutions. The Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, through its communication unit and stakeholders, held a two-day sensitization forum on mainstreaming effective intervention strategies in schools. And the West Africa Coastal Areas Management Program and the National Disaster Management Agency have launched a 6-day workshop to train ward disaster committees along the Koto Stream on disaster preparedness and response. In international news, the first ever malaria treatment specifically designed for newborns and small infants have been approved by Swissmedic, the Swiss Agency for Therapeutic Products. And in sports news, the Women's Africa Cup of Nations witnessed some exciting matches on Tuesday, with Senegal narrowly losing to Zambia and Morocco defeating DR Congo in the other match. Stay tuned as we bring you more of these other stories. Now, following a heated debate on Thursday, the National Assembly has adopted the joint report of the Finance and Public Accounts Committee, FPAC's inquiry into the alleged sale $30 million worth of petroleum products. Usman Jata reports.
The joint FPAC and PEC committee report found no evidence of bribery or tax evasion in the petroleum sales deal involving Apogee FZC, Crete Energy Limited and Ultimate Page Logistics. However, it reveals strong governance failures, legal non-compliance and weak institutional oversight across both public and private sectors. GB Mbalo, NAM follower Fuladu and Majority Leader Bileji Tunkara raised concerns about some of the report's findings.
They made some recommendation which does not tally with their findings. I then have to be very suspicious. Was there any witch hunting embedded in the whole thing? Because if you are given a job to do, you did that job, and you telling people that we have not seen what you have alleged, and your recommendation is censor, I suspect that something wrong happened.
I'm not saying that we should not adopt the report, but the recommendation has to go back to speak with the report. Honorable Speaker, money laundering is just not possible. How can a member of parliament say that money laundering? If you want to establish money laundering, you must know the origin of the oil.
Musa Abaji, NAM for Talinding, and Omar Jame, NAM for Janjambure, expressed support for the report.
It's trying to use the conclusion to dismiss the good work the committee has done. Yes, it might have fallen short of certain expectations, but they did a great job. And it has revealed the malpractices, corrupt practices that are happening in institutions.
We are paid over $100,000 to represent people. And we are here allocating 3 minutes simply because we are saying we don't want to take the time of the House. And I think corruption is really consuming this country. And it is only this House that can regularize and actually put this country in a proper footing.
Sheriff Sar, NAM for Joshua and a member of the Joint Committee, defended the integrity and the findings of the report.
If you have interest in this, you have been seated and start from zero to where it ended. We spent 1 year on this. We have no time for our families. We are here till late at night. You tell us they are doing witch hunting. Who are you witch hunting? Who are proposed? What interest do we have on them?
The adoption of the report by the National Assembly sends a strong message about the need to tackle corruption and strengthen regulatory frameworks. Osman Jata, reporting for QTV News.
Now, the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, MOHAS, in partnership with the United Nations Development Programme, has launched a broad training program to strengthen research management within tertiary and higher education institutions across the Gambia. Our Bob reports.
The 3-day capacity building forum for stakeholders from universities, colleges, and research institutions across the country brought together researchers, academic staff, and policy experts to explore essential aspects of research administration, ranging from proposal development and grant writing to research communication, ethics, and data management. It also emphasized the importance of strategic partnerships in advancing knowledge and development. Dembo Kante, head of strategic partners at MRC Gambia and president of West African Research and Innovation Management Association, WARIMA, underscored the significance of the training.
Institutions have to focus on the impact that the research that is conducted there in their institutions are going to have for society, for the economy, for the health of the population, and all of that. And one of the ways that we do with that is we ensure that we have effective communications. The language of science, which can be a little bit complicated for the ordinary person, is broken down into a language that my grandmother can understand.
Omar Jallo, Senior Program Officer at the Gambian National Commission for UNESCO, NATCOM, and James Gomez, Director of Research at the Ministry of Higher Education, both commended the initiative.
UNESCO is always happy to work with on projects that are highly impactful on our environment, on our cultures, on our on communicating knowledge also in our communities. From this training, I would gladly say that our objectives are almost already achieved.
Our responsibility here is to make sure that research is alive in our institution. And for that to take place is to build capacity so that our officers down there, as the pronouncement that we are looking forward to see that your institutions have a research support office with specialized people who will handle research management, who will work with the professors, who will work with the PIs to make sure that research is treated fairly.
Omar Jallo, one of the participants at the training, expressed his appreciation for the initiative and noted that this session significantly enhanced his understanding of collaboration, effective communication, and the pivotal role of strategic partnerships in advancing research within higher education institutions.
This training came at the very right time when us at the MDI, or now CSU, we are on the verge of trying to restructure, transform into a civil service university. So part of that pathway is to ensure that the new civil service university is transformed into a university to make sure that we are able to serve the public much better. And in doing so, we needed to be doing more research. And as a personnel working under the research and consultancy unit, I'm very much appreciative of this opportunity.
The training is part of MUHA's broader efforts to professionalize research governance, promote evidence-based policy, and elevate the standard of research output in the Gambia. For QTV News, I am Bob.
Now, the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, through its communication unit and in partnership with stakeholders, held a 2-day sensitization forum on mainstreaming effective intervention strategies in schools. Mumudi Gajaka was there and he now reports.
The forum brought together education stakeholders, including community and religious leaders, civil society organizations, parents, and the media, to raise awareness about the importance of foundational learning through the mainstreaming of effective intervention strategies in schools initiative. This program targets children from grade 1 to 3 in order to give them a strong learning foundation. Amika, head of MOPSI's communication unit, and Andrew Gomez, Director of Performance Management and Evaluation at MOPSI, explains.
We all know learning or education is based on foundation. Hence the need to strengthen foundational learning. If we really need or want to see improved learning outcomes, improvement in the performance of our learners, we really have to look back at the foundation.
Through our monitoring of teaching and learning in the schools, the classrooms, we realize that we have a problem of the quality education emanating from the beginning of learning.
Many Gambian students, especially those in public and rural schools, face challenges in low literacy levels in basic reading and writing from ECD to grade 6. However, according to testimonies from 2 teachers, Jato S. Dafe, head teacher at New Joswang Lower Basic School, and Fatu Bojang, a teacher at Serekunda Lower Basic School, the MIS pilot project has led to a significant improvement in students' reading and writing skills.
From my experience, it's fine. Kuoku ni ba kono foye boy dulal soto o boy dulal ni ya kafunyo ma ya atopoto tumando ko soxil.
Gis nañ ci difference because xalé bi légui noko daan jàngalé ak noko nekk di jàngalé légui because of shift mumfa we can see the improvement in the kids.
The mainstreaming of effective intervention strategies in schools, MIS project, is funded by the World Bank through the Resilience, Inclusion, Skills and Equity RISE program. Dr. Mamudu Sala, Operations Manager at the Central Project Coordinating Unit, explained the project's objective.
One is increased foundational learning of early grade students, and that is specifically with MOPSI. And this project, the Foundational Learning Project, is part of that. We want to increase early grade reading assessment scores. The baseline, when we started, it was about 19.99%, and we want to take it to up to 25%. So we want to see an increment by the end of the project.
With initiatives like MIS, education officials and partners remain hopeful that early interventions will continue to improve literacy rates and strengthen the overall quality of education for Gambian children. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
And from that report by Mamudu Gajaga, we will take a short commercial break. But when we return, we have local and international news stories. So stay tuned.
We are more than banking. We build bridges that connect you to pivotal services every day. Do you have government bills to pay to the Gambia Revenue Authority, Comfort, KMC, or the Accountant General's Department? We've got you covered. From payment of customs and domestic taxes to GRA, payment of number plate and vehicle ownership transfer to Comfort, payment of property rates and business license fee to KMC, and payment of MR passport, business registration, fishing license, land fees, sale of assets, lease application, development permits, quarrying royalties, gravel and sand, mining royalties, and a host of other revenue lines to the Accountant General's Department. Walk into any of our branches nationwide and make your payments hassle-free. Either in person or online. Simple, secure, and immediate. With Ajib Bank, there is no need to worry about government bill payments for your vehicles, taxes, licenses, business registration, and any other revenue line. Ajib Bank, passionate about your investment. We've got you covered. Ajib Bank, your investment partner.
fii mooy fan fii mooy Inessa di place bi nga xam ne moom la ñëpp taaw place bii bépp xeetu ataaya bu baax rek bu dugg see ci dëkk bi xamal li fii rek la am bara wërga bii neex na lool saf na ba pare tamit nag am gu bu neex boo ko naanee rek da ngay kontaan ci saas añ ba suur ba gëreesal li nga lekk jëndal baara ataaya bii ndax moom la ñëpp taamu gis nga sama client bii ataaya bu neex bu ne moom laa koy njëkk a jox ndax moom kat ataaya bu neex rek lay wër baara warga bii mooy warga bi gën te moo gën a saf kon nag ràññee leen ko bu baax kon daw leen gaaw ca Banjul foofu ca Inessa di place bi nga xam ni foofu rek nga ko mën a amee wholesale wala retail mu ngi foofu ci boori court house bi foofu ca Banjul wala nga daw ci bépp marché bépp supermarket bépp boutique fépp foo dugg rek di nga mën a am baara warga bii nga xam ne moom la ñëpp di wër tey baara warga moo dàq ci warga yi man maa ngi ci moom ndax su ma maree ataaya moom rek lay naan.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Now, on Thursday, the West Africa Coastal Areas Management Program, in collaboration with the National Disaster Management Agency, commenced a 6-day capacity building workshop to equip world disaster committees along the Koto Stream on disaster preparedness and response. Mamla Bukar has the rest of that story.
The West Africa Coastal Area Program is a regional initiative focused on strengthening the resilience of coastal communities in West Africa. to address challenges like coastal erosion, flooding, and pollution. In 2023, Phase 2 of the 5-year project was launched in the Gambia under the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources. Its primary objective is to assist in the restoration and reprofiling of the Kutu stream to protect the over 200,000 residents of the area from recurrent flooding and other likely disasters. The Kutu stream area has been identified as particularly susceptible to flooding, with historical data indicating that the region has experienced severe flooding events in recent years, displacing thousands of residents and causing significant economic losses. In 2024, a disaster contingency plan was created for the 9 wards within the Kutu stream to minimize risks, enhance preparedness, and ensure effective response mechanisms in the face of disasters at a local level. This training is expected to equip communities who reside in these 9 wards to operationalize what had been indicated in the contingency plans. Here are Mohamed Leroy Gomez, the representative for WACA, and Bintasi Jadama, a trainer from the National Disaster Management Agency.
We know that the major hazard that the country, the Gambia, is faced with is what? It's flooding. And we are in the rainy season. And as already captured in the JAS report, we have to be prepared for it.
During these 6 days of the training, we want to get their views about what they think about the contingency plan. Does the contingency plan even reflects their needs? We want to make sure that they know exactly what is in the plan and how do they utilize the plan at their local level.
The 9 wards, altogether expected to gather 117 participants, will be divided into 3 cohorts, and each cohort will go through 2 days of training with experts. This training is looking at the first cohort, which consists of participants from Bundung Bohol, Latirkunda Yiringanya, and London Corner. Haji Janko, a participant from London Corner, shares his thoughts on the initiative.
It will really help because as what we heard of the WACA project that is going to benefit and what they are going to do within these 5 years, we have been given some even material support since last year. So we have a really very hopeful.
Bubakar Fofana is the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer at NDMA.
I urge you all to take this opportunity with seriousness and dedication, not just for your personal development, but for the collective benefit of the communities you represent and our nation as a whole.
The outcomes of this workshop are expected to guide future actions and initiatives that will be aimed at building a more resilient urban environment in the Gambia. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
And coming up next is international news. Now, the first ever malaria treatment specifically designed for newborns and small infants has been approved by the Swiss Medic, the Swiss Agency for Therapeutic Products. Aisha Dubari tells us more.
The newly formulated Quatem Baby, developed by Novartis and Medicines for Malaria Venture, is expected to address a long-standing treatment gap, potentially saving thousands of young lives each year in Africa. According to the World Health Organization, 263 million malaria cases and 597,000 deaths were recorded in 2023, mostly in sub-Saharan Africa. 3 in 4 of these deaths were children under 5, highlighting the urgency of reaching the youngest patients. Quatem Baby is approved for newborns and infants under 4.5 kilograms. This vulnerable group, often overlooked in clinical research, can now receive safe, effective care for one of the world's deadliest diseases. The medicine, also known as Ryamed Baby in some countries, is now expected to receive rapid authorization in the 8 African countries that took part in the trials. Through a special global health pathway, these countries, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Kenya, Malawi, Mozambique, Nigeria, Tanzania, and Uganda represent nearly half of Africa's estimated malaria cases in 2023. Until now, there was no approved malaria drug for infants weighing less than 4.5 kilograms. Healthcare providers were forced to adapt medications meant for older children, risking dangerous dosing errors and poor outcomes. With 30 million babies born each year in malaria-prone regions, this approval addresses a critical and long-ignored gap in treatment. Malaria remains a major public health challenge in both the Gambia and Senegal. In May 2022, the World Health Organization, in partnership with the Gambian government and others, launched a joint campaign distributing at least 16 million long-lasting insecticide-treated nets across both countries. A similar campaign took place in May 2025, distributing over 1.56 million long-lasting insecticide-treated nets to continue the fight against malaria. With new tools like Quartem Baby and global partnerships committed to equitable access, the path to malaria elimination once again feels within reach. Aisa Tubari, QTV News.
Time now for some exciting sports news. Now, the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON, witnessed some exciting matches on Tuesday, where Senegal lost to Zambia by a narrow margin and Morocco defeating DR Congo in the other match. Our sports reporter, Mouri Gazaka, has more.
As the second round of matches kicked off, Zambia underlined their desire to compete for the crown at the Total Energies CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations with a trailing 3-2 victory over Senegal in Group A on Wednesday at Stade El Bachir Mohamedir. In a contest marked by end-to-end drama, powerful finishing and moments of individual brilliance, the Copper Queens held their nerve to claim all 3 points after twice being threatened by a resilient Senegalese side. After a frustrating 2-2 draw in their opening match against host Morocco, Zambia arrived desperate for a win, and they made it count. Yet it was Senegal who struck first, catching Zambia off guard inside 5 minutes. Zambia, however, responded swiftly. Captain Barbara Banda brought the Copper Queens level in 12 minutes, rifling into the top corner after a silk assist from Rachel Kundananji. 6 minutes into the second half, Zambia edged ahead when Kundananji turned scorer this time, sawing poised in the box to convert and give her side a 2-1 lead. Banda, who had terrorized the Senegalese defense throughout, extended Zambia's lead in the 73rd minute with her second of the night, reacting fastest to a corner and firing home from close range. Senegal's Njai was brought down in the area and dusted herself off to convert the penalty, making it 3-2 and setting up frenetic finale, but no further goals were scored. In the day's other match, host Morocco, once again backed by a partisan crowd, got the better of DR Congo in another exciting game. Morocco's Gizalan Chibak scored a hat-trick to give her side victory. The captain of the Atlas Lionesses led by example and single-handedly embodied the Moroccan spirit in this wild match against the Democratic Republic of Congo, as her side triumphed 4-2 against a spirited DR Congo side, who probably surprised everyone. What a day it was! 11 goals in 2 matches. Let's hope the other games keep up to this standard. Mamudu Gachiga, QTV News.
And I'm afraid this is where we draw the curtains on this bulletin. But before we take a leave of you, here's a recap for our main headlines. After a heated debate on Thursday, the National Assembly adopted the Finance and Public Accounts Committee, FPAC's report on the alleged $30 million petroleum sale. The Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, in partnership with the UNDP, has launched a broad training program to strengthen research management within tertiary and higher education institutions. The Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, through its communication unit and stakeholders, held a 2-day sensitization forum on mainstreaming effective intervention strategies in schools. And the West Africa Coastal Areas Management Program and the National Disaster Management Agency have launched a 6-day workshop to train ward disaster committees along the coastal stream on disaster preparedness and response. In international news, the first ever malaria treatment specifically designed for newborns and small infants has been approved by Swiss Medic, the Swiss Agency for Therapeutic Products. And in sports news, the Women's Africa Cup of Nations witnessed some exciting matches on Tuesday, with Senegal narrowly losing to Zambia and Morocco defeating DR Congo in the other match. That's all for this bulletin. Do join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Until then, thanks for watching.